Rejection does not mean that you are not good. It means the other person failed to notice what you had to offer. Rejection, a universal human experience, can often feel like a significant setback. However, through the lens of Buddhism, these moments of disappointment can be transformed into profound lessons for personal growth and enlightenment. Here, we explore 13 Buddhist teachings that can help you turn rejection into a tool for personal advantage. 1. Let go of attachment. Buddha once said, "Attachment is the root of all suffering." When dealing with rejection, it's often our attachment to a specific outcome, person, or idea that intensifies our pain and disappointment. In the Buddhist view, learning to let go of these attachments is key to finding peace and resilience. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring, but rather developing a healthy detachment where your happiness and self-worth are not entirely dependent on external validation or specific results. By practicing letting go of attachment, you cultivate an inner stability and contentment that remains undisturbed by the fluctuating circumstances of life, including the experience of being rejected. 2. Learn from suffering. Learn from suffering is grounded in the Buddhist understanding that suffering, or dukkha, is an integral part of the human experience and a valuable teacher. The Buddha stated, "Suffering is a gift. In it is hidden mercy." When we face rejection, it inevitably brings discomfort and emotional pain, but these experiences are not without purpose. Instead of fleeing from the pain, Buddhism encourages us to look directly at our suffering, to understand its nature and origins. This introspection allows us to learn from our anguish. Rejection in this light becomes a catalyst for deep personal growth and self-discovery. It provides insights into our expectations, attachments, and vulnerabilities. By comprehending and embracing the lessons hidden within our suffering, we cultivate resilience, empathy, and a deeper understanding of life, turning the bitter taste of rejection into the seeds of wisdom and inner strength. 3. Accept the law of cause and effect, karma. According to the Buddhist principle of karma, every action has a corresponding reaction, shaping our experiences and our future. As the Buddha taught, according to the seed that's sown, so is the fruit you reap therefrom. When faced with rejection, this principle encourages us to reflect on how our past actions, decisions, and behaviors may have contributed to the current situation. This isn't about self-blame, but about understanding and taking responsibility for our part in the dynamics of life. Accepting the role of karma in rejection helps in recognizing it as an opportunity for learning and self-improvement. It shifts our focus from feeling victimized to empowering us to make positive changes. By acknowledging and understanding the causes and effects of our actions, we can make more mindful choices in the future, thereby influencing the course of our lives in a more positive and intentional direction. 4. Seek wisdom in silence. Seeking wisdom in silence in managing rejection is a practice deeply ingrained in Buddhist teachings. The Buddha stated, "Silence is sometimes the best answer." In the wake of rejection, instead of immediately reacting with external expressions of frustration or sadness, turning inward in silence can be profoundly beneficial. This practice involves taking a step back to reflect quietly on the experience, allowing yourself the space and tranquility to process your emotions and thoughts. In this silence, you can observe your mind's patterns and reactions, gaining clarity and understanding that might be obscured in the noise of everyday life. It's an opportunity to listen to your inner wisdom, to understand the lessons rejection is offering, and to cultivate a more grounded and centered response. This silent reflection can transform the initial negative emotions associated with rejection into valuable insights, fostering personal growth and emotional maturity. 5. Develop equanimity. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Equanimity in Buddhism is about maintaining mental stability and composure, neither clinging to pleasure nor being overwhelmed by distress. When encountering rejection, equanimity allows you to accept the situation without excessive joy or sorrow, understanding that it is just another part of life's ever-changing nature. This balanced approach helps in seeing rejection not as a personal failure, but as an impartial event in the larger tapestry of life. By developing equanimity, You can approach rejection with a sense of calm and detachment, enabling you to process and learn from the experience without being consumed by it. 6. Embrace the middle way. It is a concept that stems from one of the Buddha's foundational teachings, which advocates for a path of moderation, avoiding extremes. This philosophy is particularly relevant in dealing with rejection. Instead of swinging to extremes, either descending into deep despair or dismissing your emotions entirely, the middle way encourages a balanced response. It involves acknowledging and feeling your emotions without becoming overwhelmed or controlled by them. This approach allows you to experience and understand your feelings of disappointment or hurt, yet also keeps you grounded in the reality that this rejection is not an all-defining event. By adopting this moderate, balanced attitude, you're better equipped to learn from the experience, maintaining a clear perspective and a calm, steady mind. 7. Reflect on the nature of reality. This involves contemplating the Buddhist concept of the true nature of existence, which is marked by impermanence, suffering, and non-self. The Buddha taught, "All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering." In the context of rejection, this reflection helps you understand that the pain and disappointment you feel are transient and not the ultimate reality of your being. It encourages you to see rejection not as a fixed, defining part of your identity, but as a passing event in the ever-changing flow of life. By recognizing that both the experience of rejection and the self who experiences it are impermanent and constantly evolving, you can detach from the intense emotions associated with rejection. This understanding fosters a sense of liberation and eases suffering, as you realize that rejection does not define you, but is merely a momentary experience in the broader, ever-changing landscape of life. 8. Embrace impermanence. In the face of rejection, recognizing that this experience, like all others, is temporary and subject to change, can offer profound comfort and perspective. As the Buddha stated, "This too shall pass." This wisdom encourages us not only to accept the fleeting nature of our current emotions and circumstances, but also to appreciate that our feelings of hurt or disappointment are not permanent fixtures in our lives. By acknowledging that rejection is just a momentary ripple in the vast ocean of our experiences, we open ourselves to resilience and adaptability, learning to flow with life's constant changes rather than resisting them. 9. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment or resistance. It's about observing your reaction to rejection with clarity and compassion, as taught in Buddhism. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." When faced with rejection, practicing mindfulness means noticing the feelings of hurt, disappointment, or anger as they arise, acknowledging them, and then letting them pass without clinging to them. This approach prevents you from being overwhelmed by negative emotions and helps in developing a deeper understanding of your inner self. By being mindful, you gain insight into how you respond to adversity, and with this awareness, you can start to change unhelpful patterns of thought and behavior, ultimately using the experience of rejection as a lesson in personal growth and emotional resilience. 10. Cultivate loving kindness. Metta. Loving kindness involves fostering a sense of unconditional goodwill, not only towards yourself, but also towards those who have rejected you. In Buddhism, metta is considered a powerful practice for healing and emotional resilience. The Buddha taught, "You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Applying this in the face of rejection means treating yourself with kindness and understanding, rather than harsh judgment or self-criticism. It also involves extending empathy and compassion to the one who rejected you, recognizing that their actions are driven by their own circumstances and perspectives. This practice of loving kindness creates emotional space and fosters a sense of peace and acceptance, helping to alleviate the pain of rejection and opening the path to forgiveness and inner harmony. 11. Use rejection as a path to enlightenment. This means seeing rejection not just as a setback, but as a profound opportunity for spiritual growth, a concept deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy. The Buddha once said, "In the sky, there is no distinction of east and west. People create distinctions out of their own minds and then believe them to be true." This perspective encourages viewing rejection as a catalyst for introspection and personal development. It's an invitation to examine your own mind, understand your attachments, and confront your ego, all crucial steps on the path to enlightenment. Each rejection provides a unique chance to practice key Buddhist teachings such as detachment, compassion, and mindfulness. Instead of allowing rejection to lead to suffering, you can use it to break down illusions, to learn about the transient nature of emotions, and to cultivate a deeper sense of peace and understanding of the self. 12. Recognize the common human experience. One must understand that rejection is a universal part of the human condition. The Buddha said, "Just as a mother would protect her only child at the risk of her own life, even so let one cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings." This perspective urges us to see our experience of rejection not as an isolated incident, but as part of the broader tapestry of human experiences that connect us all. By recognizing that everyone faces rejection and suffering at various points in their lives, you cultivate a sense of empathy and connectedness with others. This understanding helps to alleviate the loneliness and isolation often felt in times of rejection, as you realize that such experiences are not unique to you, but are shared by all humanity. 13. Focus on self-improvement, not external validation. The Buddha taught, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and respect." This teaching encourages a shift in perspective when facing rejection. Instead of fixating on external approval and allowing it to dictate your self-worth, turn your attention inward. Focus on nurturing your own strengths, learning new skills, and cultivating inner qualities like compassion, resilience, and mindfulness. In doing so, you become less reliant on external validation for your happiness and self-esteem. This approach fosters a deeper sense of self-satisfaction and fulfillment that is not easily shaken by the opinions or judgments of others. In conclusion, embrace rejection as an integral part of life's journey, a teacher in disguise, and a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. By doing so, you can transform what seems to be a negative experience into an invaluable lesson, leading you ever closer to a state of enlightenment and inner harmony.